Good morning. It's your boy Doc. It's 9:01 a.m. July 3rd, 2024. How's everybody doing? 73 degrees here in New York City. We are looking at the dashboard for QTA. This is something that's like a homepage that you sign on when you first open up the website. This will contain your information that you would most likely want to see for the day. It's the top traded stocks, the sectors. There's going to be a graph here where the most action and most volume are in what different sector. You'll be able to get a glance of what the market's doing. Where I like to really hang out is like the advanced GEX. I'll open up an advanced GEX window, and then I'll also open up a Quant window. Alright, like layers. Maybe a couple more. Quant levels are, I usually have like the SPY and an NVDA or a Tesla open just to get the idea of what's going on. Today I'm going to have NVIDIA and Tesla. You can import this to your own charts. I like to have them separated just because it's nice and clean, and I'm on the website anyway, so why not? Tesla yesterday spiked up and then held the VWAP line. That was really important. And then today it's gonna where are we at now? Just above here. So we're opening above yesterday's VWAP, right? We held that. So now the 2-day VWAP, it's gonna be wherever this opens. Let's get a picture of it. So the VWAP should open above 233, right? 233 was a line that was going to be, was a little hard to break through yesterday. And then today, if we open up above that, that's extremely bullish if we open and hold that. So that's what we're looking for there on Tesla. NVIDIA is testing this 120 line. It's like annoying, baby, but it's testing it a couple times now, overnight or this morning. And then a couple days ago there. So 120 is holding. We're coming down to the end of the pattern. Either today or on Friday we'll see a break of this pattern. I don't think we'll just trade through. This seems to be a real harsh resistance sloping in. In fact, we can trace it up. See connection here. You can argue right around here. Tested it again, tested, and now it's coming to a point. It's coming to a point we're going to have to see some type of reaction. Tomorrow we're closed, so this day is going to be erased from existence. And we're just going to open up here. So we're either going to be out of the pattern on top, or it's going to break below the pattern. There's still support at 115. It's a good, strong support. Last time that was tested, it rocketed off of it. So we're not going to... We shouldn't expect... when NVIDIA breaks this pattern to just collapse through it. There should be support here at 115. And that's going to make things interesting. Since we're closed tomorrow, I just want to get a snapshot in time and see to make it part of the video. Alright, we're going to have to tune in. I can't even tune in tomorrow. Tune in on Friday and find out. Let's take a look at the market. Yesterday we said that SPY was at a actionable level coming up to that 547, and 550 was looking pretty good, right? We examined the GEX, the Quant, and the Tech, and we all said that 550 was open. I think we closed right at 549, 549.01, and we are just breaking below that now. Rose up a little more overnight, and then we just broke that 549 yesterday's close. There are some moving averages there that could provide some type of support, but I would like to see a revisit to this broken level here, right? This was the pattern that if we broke it, we'd have to come back and test it to go higher. This one actually just went almost to the resistance without any retest. So this is going to be interesting to see. This retest on SPY will be a really good bullish sign for next week. If we don't, well, we should get it today. I was going to say if we just trade sideways, this does not look like really good support. So I'd look for a retest of this level today on SPY. If it does catch itself, uses the overnight low right here. Let's mark that off, actually. This is a possibility if it catches itself. Bam. Mark it orange. And you know what? We're going to make this, I was going to say mesh. It's kind of, you can think of it as like a mesh level, right? It's going to be like a soft level. If it holds it, we have a chance to go to 550. If this breaks, this retest is happening for sure. Let's nail down exactly where that level should be. I feel like it broke it like here. You see where I'm looking at? See where I'm looking at? Ran up, had a little issue, and then popped. This might be the level to watch for a retest. 546.69. Give or take several pennies. That makes sense. What else makes sense? This is what you do before the market opens. Just run through possible outcomes so you're not surprised when something happens. If we were to leave this here and be like, oh yeah, it's going to retest here for sure. Absolutely. And it broke this, we would start selling off positions, closing contracts because it's breaking this level. This is the only level we have planned out. So in our minds, if this is broken, we can go all the way down to their next draw-on level. And we don't have any drawn levels up down to 542. So you want to plan ahead. This looks like a really smart level, 545. But we're looking a little more closer to home. One here. One anywhere, 546.50 and up. There's a whole level right here. And we'll leave it here because there's another one down here. This is a real good support. 545. So if 546.50 is broken, 545 is there. But a retest of one of those levels definitely looks like it's in the cards. And that's what you do. You just you cycle through, you try and find where we could be going and then play along with it. If a retest doesn't happen, if this is like a good enough bounce, this would be the level to break, right? The overnight high. Make this mesh also. I like that, a mesh level. It's like it's easy to break, but you should have a little bit of a struggle with it. So you make it mesh. You make it made out of mesh. Or paper mache. No, I lost track of that. Construction paper. And let's cycle through. What else have we got? Qs. Should we look at the Qs? Kind of the same thing. Just broke a new local high here. What kind of high is that? Is that an all-time high? No. 487.91. We missed it by 18 cents. Wow. 18 cents away from a new all-time high. I mean, the stock market for 2024 is amazing. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people, if you're watching this, how new you might be to trading, but this is like unheard of action. Let's see where this really, from the end of 2022, so entire 2023, and so far the entire 2024 has been nothing but straight gas. Straight gas for a year and a half. I am one to be always looking for the retest or some type of pullback, but it just doesn't look like it's there. It's happening. This was a really fun time to watch. This huge cup and handle forming all the way there, and then the little handle there, bang, rocketed. This line was, we were talking about this line forever. 373. I left it there. I left all these lines here, obviously. But this is a great thing to do while the market's still closed. You cycle through your favorites, and you just kind of play out what you see for the day. We're not going to be playing the Qs today, so I didn't really mark it up. But the SPY, right, we're watching a couple levels, the ranges overnights. And that's what you do for your other ones. We're going to be looking at Tesla and NVIDIA today. So Tesla, we can mark off a box. And then after we have this box, we're going to open up the quant charts and compare and contrast. You get close to zero. There you go. And I'm not going to make an overnight one. It's kind of clear that this one here, in fact, you know what? I'm just going to borrow this. That looks really perfect, right? You came up, you tested it again. When it broke it, came back, touched it, and now we're in between it. So now let's go with just these two, the SPY and Tesla. You know, I did say NVIDIA, so let's do NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA, using that 120 line, right? Just a little recap. Came up, tested 120, broke it a little bit, but I think this was a slip down to 115. But this also let us know 115 is a strong support. Sorry, hit the mic there. I hit the mic. So, racing down, ran into 115, bounced right off of it. This is telling us, I'm a strong force, Luke. Okay, thank you. My name's not Luke, but that's okay. Right? This would make sense to get revisited again. Strong resistance here. Touch, 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 touch. Just being pushed down. And the price action looks like it wants to pop through. It's just hugging this line. If I take away the lines, you don't even need a line. You can see it. It's just pushing against this imaginary wall that's coming down, squeezing in between the EMA 300. Just popping it here on the 1 hour. What does it look like on the day? On the day, I'm not even close to that, but what's it using here? That is the 21. Hold the 9, you're fine. Break the 21, you're done. That's the momentum phrase. Momentum sonnet. Like a sailor's sonnet. Or those things that you remember, like red sky at night, sailor's delight, red sky in morning, sailor take warning. It's sort of like that. But more mathy. The 9 line is your trade line. That's the 9 EMA. On any type of momentum play, you can follow this on any timeline. As long as you stay above the line, you're good. When you start to flirt with it and break it, everyone has their own rules on how many breaks, how many bars, how many sessions need to be on the opposite side of the line for it to be a thing. Now, if we're looking at this, NVIDIA, we ran up, kind of spiked, and okay, this is a nice pullback, but we found the 21. We broke the 9. So we're not fine, but we held the 21. We're not done. Now we have a decision to make on NVIDIA. We are coming in between a squeeze between the 21 and the 9. We're below the 9, above the 21. Something's got to give, right? I mean, you guys can see this. It's clear. Something's got to give on NVIDIA. And we're going to get a decision. We're going to get a decision real soon. Because these two sessions will merge. The EMAs. The moving averages of these sessions, between the last 21 sessions and the last 9 sessions will merge. And this is on the daily. On the weekly, we're still above the 9. So this is giving it a little bit of a hope that we're leaning towards breaking upwards on the day, meaning the 21 could hold. Let's see the last time 21 was broken. The last one 21 was broken, the 64 stepped in. I have random EMAs in here that I've been testing, so that's why. But the 64 has not been broken. You can argue back here, that was kind of a break. This is more of a break right here. So a real break on the 64 hasn't happened since August 25th, 2022. And once it broke it, it came back up within a couple months. And then it tested it and said, see you later. So even this break, I would say, it didn't really hold. When it went back to retest it, it popped over it and then retested on the top and went up. So the 64 on the daily could be a target, right? If this 21 is broken, the 64 is a target. You can find support here. Technically, it would cover this gap and that, but it would break the 64. 107. 107.68. So you see where I'm getting that? I'm getting it 64 as a target and using this technical level here. We have a bit of a gap and a retest. Not only were you retesting the 9 line, but you're retesting this. I'll move my cursor over here just so you can see the line. You're testing 107. Now that 64 is coming up, matching that 107 is confluent level here. So remember 107. I think we can ditch the fib right there. Let's take one of these lines. I want to make it a little blurry and bulky. There you go. So we'll be watching if NVIDIA breaks this 120. It'll successfully open and close a new session, a new day session underneath this line, which is the 21 EMA on the daily. We break this and hold underneath it. Next week, I'm playing to the downside. That's that 118 right there. That would be the number to break. If this 118 breaks, I play to the downside. If this 118 holds, I play to the upside. That's the long and short of it when it comes to NVIDIA. Right now, we are in a limbo. I'm not even concerned about 120 anymore. If that breaks, I'm still having 118. And this is what you do. You talk out your positions. You talk out your theories as if you're in front of a class, or if you're you're trying to convince someone of your trade. You say, I'm going to be doing this because of that. And as you talk it out, you say, you know what? That doesn't really sound right when I say it out loud. So I go back and look at it a different way. And this is what it is. This is retail trading. This is independent trading. If we were in, any type of trading floor or any type of hedge funds place of business, there'd be person to the right of you, a person to the left of you, and you could just literally say, hey, what is going on with NVIDIA? Where do you find support? And then you're like, oh yeah, and I looked at it real quick. 118 sounds good. You get confluence there. You get someone next to you saying, I'm looking with my own eyes and I find 118. You could take that information and say, you know what, that works perfectly from what I've seen. So now you have your deduction of the situation, and you have someone else's viewpoint on it, and you combine that information. That's what people do when they're in the office trading alongside with other traders. When you don't have that, you look for confluence in other ways. Other ways would be quant charts, Gex feeds. On the quant chart, we can go to NVIDIA, and we had those numbers in our head, right? One was 117 or 118. Another one's 115. So 118, 115. I said 115 would be that strong support. I borrowed that line. Too easy. So while we compare, we see what's going on here. What's at 118? Well, we have the buy zone that starts at 119. Usually there's a little bit of a zone on these buy zones. This is a real fine-tuned buy zone. So you can safely give it at least some technical level, right? I'm imagining that this would be part of my buy zone. If we were to revisit it, this line would hold, and this would be a little bit of support buffer. I'm just mapping that out in my head. It's not something you really have to do. So that's a bit of a confluent area. The buy zone's at 119. Our zone was at 118. This is a confluent area. A revisit to this area is actually a bullish sign. So keep this in mind. If you guys are, and if anyone is investing in shares, where just you buy and hold NVIDIA, I'm going to buy 100 shares of NVIDIA and hold it for a couple months. I think this is a good area to get in, blah, blah. If that's your theory, this revisiting here would be a good thing. Because if not, it would just linger. It would be, it would just always be there. But it's a trampoline. It's there for the taking. A revisit here and a hold, bullish sign. A revisit here and a break, 115. And look at 115 on here is the 2 sigma line. 115 was our line right here. A break of 115 would be a bearish outlook for NVIDIA, right? It's very safe to say. A break of 115 would be a bearish outlook on NVIDIA. How bearish? Well, 106 is the next one down, and then below that, 96. But we don't want to start that bearish journey and be holding any type of main positions higher. So we make cutoffs for ourselves. We call them stop losses. We say, if this, then that. And right now I have, if break 120, then we get out. And then I have, if break 118, then play to the downside. I'm not playing into Friday. I have like 2 positions open right now that I'm going to close. It's just it's going to be such a volume-starved environment on Friday that I don't care to even take a lotto with it. Could be fun. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it could be fun to do a lotto and see what happens. But I'm predicting so much low volume that it's just not going to be anything predictable whatsoever. Anything can happen on Friday and then just get refixed or adjusted on Monday, almost as like an overnight would, right? So anything that happens Friday with low volume, when the big volume comes in, when the big volume, anything happens here on Friday, when the big volume comes in on Monday, it's going to get adjusted. You know, it's like the, like when the cat's away, the mouse will play kind of a thing. Sure. When the volume's away, we can bounce around, do all these types of things. We can even fly up, test 128. People think, oh, NVIDIA's going somewhere. But when the real market value, the market volume comes in and it gets it adjusted, we'll see the events. So that's NVIDIA. That was Tesla. And that was SPY. And that's how you start incorporating. You start folding in the quant charts. We had NVIDIA. We had lines. We had levels. Then we start floating around what fits here. So now we don't have today's data yet. Max pain was at 122. We're going to open up right beneath that. Opening beneath a max pain, it acts as resistance. If you open above it, it acts as support. Because max pain is not so much a target as it is a barrier between the calls and puts. What is max pain? Max pain is the strike where calls and puts together have the least amount of intrinsic value combined together. So crossing that barrier is a big deal if you think about it. So that's why it's a natural support and resistance line. So how's everybody doing? Good morning. My name is Doc. This is QTA. This is Quant Trading App. You can go to quanttradingapp.com. You can enter the code DNOW30, and that will give you 30% off your first month. You can find me in there, in the community. You can just safely go to any of the public chats or the enthusiast chat. Click on here, and right underneath my profile should be a message. And that's how you reach me. That's how you know it's me, and you're set. Bryant is always around. For security reasons, he doesn't DM, and it makes so much sense. Like, we don't even DM. We have a private room. We don't like to communicate. We like to know who we're communicating with. But it's a safe way to find me is just click under my name, click on message. But this is where we'll post for the day. In fact, we'll do this right now. Let's see if we can get a little. No, I thought sometimes it would get a little bit of a break there. I wanted a break right here. I guess it doesn't happen until after when the market opens. Sorry, I hit you again. I'm sorry. Smacked you right inside of the head. Not really. It was the microphone. Anyway, so what we're going to look for is if NVIDIA opens below, which it should, is at 121.58 right now. Open below max pain. It will also open below 2-day VWAP. Use that as resistance. We may see 119 today. If we open and break right above it, start testing it as support, we can begin to think of bullish direction. I think I have 125 call for NVIDIA on Friday. One position left. It was left over from, I'm not sure when we got it, but I wanted to say here. I know that's like the whole thing we were talking about couple sessions ago. Was it a private session or a public session we did? Sorry, it's too early. I can't remember. But leftover runners, right? You let some run just in case something happens. It's fun to. For me, it makes it fun to watch. It's not something that's a strategy at all. You don't have to leave runners to trade, but it's just something I like to do to make it a little fun. And when you have profit, you can do that. So don't think that you have to, like you see everyone say, oh, I left 2 runners. Like, oh, I have to leave 2 runners. I'm a big advocate of taking profit. You see profit, take it. Don't let it ride for more. But with a couple of runners, you can. So we're just folding in new information, right? The quant data here on Tesla, we are in no man's land. We are above 2 sigma. We're just waiting for the intraday levels to come out, and we can use those to trade with within the day. But as far as planning, like, how do you plan for Tesla to go higher here? We're in no man's land. The only way that's higher is 264. Technical level on Tesla, 264, which is way up here. Since we don't need that line anymore, let's see. Look at this. We are in open air. I say open air even though we've been here before, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. 245. That's one also. But open air being that we haven't been here since the beginning of this year. And it doesn't look like there's much for the price to grab onto except for that 246 that I just marked off. 246 is a target. And a revisit 231 for support. That would be nice. If you're bullish on Tesla, you want to see a revisit of one of these supports. If this is enough, we visit here, we can go higher. If this breaks, this makes sense. If this breaks, it's okay. This makes sense to retest. This is the line of the symmetrical triangle that we just broke out of, that we've been in for forever, since November 2021. Well, arguably since 2019, but it tested the top here. This is the revisit to the top, so. Lots of exciting things going on, even though today is a short day. Today the market's closed at 1 o'clock, so get your affairs in order, because tomorrow we're closed and Friday is going to be just a puff day. Like pillow puff day, not like puff puff give. But that's fine. If that's what you're into, that's great. It's a holiday, no problem there. If it's medicated, that's fine too. The idea is that we're not planning on a move on Friday to save our day. If we have positions already, sure, you want to leave them and you just want to gamble it, that's fine, that's different. But Friday's going to be, or Friday should be, I'm not saying it's going to be, but I'm expecting it to be super low volume. So unpredictable. That's what it comes down to. And don't think that, Friday morning you're going to open up and you have the same theta and everything that we did today, because there's going to be a session and a half that we're skipping. So theta is just going to ramp up and time is not going to wait. So we are now officially open. Ding, ding, ding. And we're going to see if Tesla finds this support right here. Will you find support? Will you find support? But, Daddy, I want an Oompa Loompa now. You can't have your pudding before you have your meat. Before you eat your meat. I swear, I think I sleep with, like, in a bed of flowers and cat hair. I wake up so, not every day, but I recently have woken up with such allergies. It's crazy, man. It's I mean, I sleep inside. It's not like I sleep outside. It's just that feeling. Somebody's watching me. So, NVIDIA is going to test the high side first. When you're in a box or you're in a system, oh, this is like endless. Transition update. Please, regard me. when you have a situation where you have a range going on, you want to see where it goes to first. So if price action goes to the top side first, you can play the reaction down. If it breaks that top side, you can play the break and resistance. A lot of times, the first visited range is the weaker one. No, it should be the stronger one. Not necessarily. I'm just taking a guess that, like, because if the first move breaks it, then there is no second move. So if you're playing the second move, you want the first one to go to the strong side first. And that kind of makes sense because we broke it and retested it yesterday. It failed. The retest failed yesterday, but still we stayed bearish. Now this next one, if it holds, meaning it gets rejected here, that's a stronger sign. And we go back to 120. And this would be a good day trade. You play the rejection off this level to get this level. And we'll slide this to the side here so you can see the action as we pull up the chart. And when we refresh this, you'll see that it's probably running into this max pain right here as resistance. We can't break it down. This is 5 minutes or 15 minutes that you get to look at. The next 5-minute candle, we'll see something. Set this up straight. Click over. And we'll see what's going on with the minute. See that run up. Tested the overnight high. So here's what you look for. You look for what levels we're testing. So we run up, we test this overnight high. Makes sense, right? So where's the next one? The overnight low? Sure. But what's in the middle of that? There's more levels in the middle of that we want to see come into play. So the more these middle levels, like the VWAP and the moving averages, come in to become support, the less we're thinking about the lower levels. Now we're staying bullish, right? We tested the top, and instead of screaming back down to the bottom range, we're stopping at the VWAP. It's catching us. Let me shut off the EMA so we'll see. See that? The VWAP pushed it up. Support to try again. That's all it really is. You know, you're sending someone into break down a door, and they bounce off, so you run up and you hold them there and you help them break through it again. You can think of it like that. The VWAP is becoming support to make another move to go higher. And then when it breaks this, then this becomes support. And then this becomes secondary. And that's all you do. You go up level by level.